Hey guys, we are here at Top Cut for the first event in SoCal. I am still Regina, and I am joined today by
Agent V.
Yeah,
You can just call me V. It's all good.
I was like, I'm sure many of you guys recognize her. So I feel very honored to be able to cast with her today. I'd be super excited. It is also your first time casting a Pokemon event.
For Pokemon, yes.
So I feel super honored that you decided to choose our SoCal event.
I know, right? It was great. It was, you know, it's a convenient time. It's a convenient time right now. Oh my God, these teams.
Yeah, actually, if you guys look, you will recognize the name Alberto for a lot of you. Alberto Lara is one of our Top Cut players, and he's got that Rotom Wash, Reuniclus, Conkeldurr, Excadrill, Tyranitar, and Indeedee.
Okay, and then we got Raytix. I'm gonna assume that's his name. That's how you pronounce it. With Rotom Heat, Dragapult, Gyarados, Duraludon, Scrafty, and Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, so actually only the second Duraludon I've seen on stream today. We've had a couple Dragapult pop up, Conkeldurr once or twice. Reuniclus I think is the interesting one here, right?
Yes.
You've got the Trick Room option with it. Not exactly a Pokemon, like Gen 5 is kind of like the quote-unquote forgotten generation because everyone kind of skipped over it. But a really interesting Pokemon to have in here could really benefit from Indeedee, Psychic Terrain,
Psychic Surge, yeah.
And on the other side, you've got the Grimmsnarl and the Prankster with the screens.
Correct.
So, again, though, one Rotom making it rain and one Rotom bringing the heat.
Exactly.
Miguel didn't laugh last time at that joke.
He should laugh now. He's not going
He
to.
won't do it.
But yeah, I can see the Indeedee and Reuniclus like making a really good pair here, honestly. Like Reuniclus is like that weird niche pick, but it can also be very powerful if you don't check it, for sure. The Tyranitar is also a pretty common thing that I've seen today in bracket, especially with that weakness policy. So I'm interested to see what he's gonna bring out into the fray here.
Yeah, Duraludon actually a really good choice here because it does have Stalwart, and so that Indeedee's Follow Me going to be a little bit useless here because of the fact that it ignores redirection moves. And so we've got Collin leading with Duraludon and Grimmsnarl, and we've got Alberto here with Reuniclus and that Indeedee.
And I mean, he could just straight go up for the Dynamax on that Duraludon and reflect on that Grimmsnarl. That's what I see here, honestly. The Indeedee, I don't see it doing a whole lot.
It's gonna fade at some point.
I mean, I think it learns Helping Hand though, and if I can see that wild play, he can flex on that shiny Reuniclus Dynamax here and just do some crazy shenanigans. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you've got the Reuniclus able to survive something, you're right, that Helping Hand would be really nice.
Yeah.
But instead, Alberto gonna go straight for that Dynamax. Most likely gonna be that Reuniclus. It is gonna be the heavy hitter on this side of the field as of right now.
For sure. I'm nervous and excited to see what this Gelandis Mass is gonna throw into the fray here.
Yeah, and Max Mindstorm definitely going to do a lot more damage because of the fact that we are on terrain. But I think Helping Hand is probably the move. Yep,
there it is. I'm predicting Focus Blast, Max Knuckle or something. There's a light screen, so that's pretty good. Immediately setting up the screen, so Grimmsnarl is going to be... Ooh, Draco Meteor onto this guy. Not doing a whole lot, though. Not doing a whole lot.
No Dynamaxing either on Collin's side, but like you said, that Max Knuckle going to come into here. Going to hit that Duraludon. It's a straight knockout. That is one tower that is falling now. Will not have a chance to go for any Dynamax later on.
So I honestly think that was a misplay on Collin's part. I would have went for the Reflect there, but I can see going for Light Screen, you usually see, well, then again, you know what? He actually made the right play.
I think it's hard because, like, if the Reuniclus's Max Knuckle is based off of Focus Blast,
it's still special.
Still stays special.
Yeah.
But it is going to be a little bit annoying because if you've got that Grimmsnarl with Light Clay, that Light Screen is going to stay on way past whatever, like, how
that is very true. Scrafty's coming in here with the Intimidate. Not going to do much to the special and the special attacker and the support on Indeedee. We might, I'm debating on the switch for Indeedee here. But yeah, we see Collin at a very weird spot. I'm wondering if what is he gonna do with this Scrafty? He is a dark type, so it does some crazy shenanigans to the Reuniclus. But you see the heal pulse onto Indeedee. That's interesting. Yep, there's a crunch going into the Reuniclus. Still not doing so much. This giant ball of jelly just taking these hits and going for the max steel spike.
Yeah, that's gonna be really rough, especially because that's super effective. And you got that plus attack, that light screen though really helping out right now.
That helped out there.
Scrafty, it's unfortunate just because you like to use it for that fake out and you can't really do that. Alberto, I think, is doing a really good job right now in buffing his Pokemon with his Dynamax moves. You've got the Max Knuckle to plus the attack on Reuniclus. Gyarados, you've got the plus defense now with Max Steel Spike. Like, he's kind of showing, hey, just because nobody's used Reuniclus before doesn't mean it doesn't have a good move pool.
Yeah, I see Grimmsnarl not in a good spot here. He's going to go for that Gyarados. Probably, I'm going to assume it's shiny for one. So the Intimidate does not pop. So
it is a Moxie for sure.
Yeah, so let's see what this Gyarados is going to do as he goes for the crunch again. That heal pulse though coming so clutch.
So what's interesting here is that I think Alberto is doing a really good job keeping that Reuniclus around. He's able to at least get damage consistently onto Collin's Pokemon. He got rid of Duraludon really early on, and that Grimmsnarl is in the back, and it's going to come back in later, but it's not going to be able to do much until this Reuniclus is off the field. But if Alberto has something like Tyranitar Excadrill in the back, he's got enough firepower to just take out Pokemon on Collin's side.
I mean, yeah, you just go straight for that Reuniclus at this point because it's just way too strong. You need to get that thing out of here. And Didi's probably going to keep going with them heal pulses, but man, this thing, it's like you would think, you would be scared of like whatever he has in the back. He could have Conkeldurr, he could have Excadrill, but right now it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, especially if Indeedee does have Focus Sash, it hasn't been activated yet. And I think the smart thing that Collin's done right now is Collin has saved his Dynamax until Alberto's is over. So now he's going to have the heavy firepower, and with something like Gyarados, that's never a bad thing, especially because if you take out knockouts, Moxie is going to make that Gyarados even scarier.
It's very true. I wonder what this thing is going to go for. I would assume that the Gyarados has Crunch, but then I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. He's going to go for that Follow Me. Duraludon is not here, so everything's going to be redirected to Indeedee here. As he goes for the Max Geyser. Yeah, just go straight for Stab. I guess that's the right play there.
Yeah, and you're going to get the rain up as well here.
Oh god, the Max Steel Spike.
Literally nothing to Indeedee.
This is what happens when you have Max Steel Spike. You throw it in twice, your special defense is just so strong.
Oh, if this oh my gosh.
And it
also
survives
that.
Man.
It finally gets a defense drop on here after twice on Reuniclus,
and then Reuniclus going for Trick Room. It actually did not go for an attack here, which is really interesting. Well, now Trick Room is up, so...
I think we're going to see another heal pulse from Indeedee here onto the Reuniclus, because Alberto's done a really good job so far of keeping his Pokemon in the back hidden. He's kind of forcing Collin to make choices that Alberto's kind of predicting on this one. Oh, no, it is a helping hand.
Yeah, well, Reuniclus is definitely going first thanks to this Trick Room, so he's just going to go for Psychic, probably... I thought he was going to one-shot the Gyarados, but yeah, he's still hanging on with that Dynamax, thank goodness.
Interesting choice that he goes after the Indeedee.
That's good because it was a correct move. Indeedee was providing way too much support there, so you needed to get rid of that. But the thing is, you have two other Pokemon in the back you got to deal with. Actually,
I was going to scream if that Reuniclus survived that Max.
Wow,
that would have been insane.
I would have expected it to survive, and then that Moxie boost is going to come up too. Kind of a turnaround, a little bit. Depends on what Alberto has in the back, and see if Collin can come through with the comeback here. We see Conkeldurr, and Trick Room is Conkeldurr loves Trick Room here, so this is great. And Rotom Wash.
The other two Pokemon that I didn't mention. Thank you, Alberto, for that. Yeah, I mean, still could be really good. I mean, we've got Conkeldurr that if it has that Flame War, which everyone has been trying to get from the ball guy for like ages, right? You've got Guns, can boost your attack. I think right now Alberto's best bet is he has to manage his Gyarados, stall out those last couple Dynamax turns, and still make the most of his Trick Room turn. So it's a lot to kind of ask at this moment, but I think he's still able to at least take, if he can take out the Gyarados, he's in a good spot.
It's very true, and then Conkeldurr comes through with a lot of really strong moves. Rotom can come in with a Thunderbolt, depending if it's choice specs or anything, or leftovers. We are unsure. I know you've seen Alberto battle in the past, but we're not sure what item Rotom has, as Collin withdraws the Scrafty into Grimmsnarl. I guess he's probably trying to sack it, from what I can see. Oh, the Max Guard. Yeah, that's a good play. I would assume like Ice Punch probably going to the Conkeldurr, or Thunder Punch, I'm sorry. Yeah, Conkeldurr comes through with a lot of utility.
That is so hard to see.
It is unfortunate.
Especially in rain, that is rough.
Yeah.
I think what Collin's trying to do is he's trying to save that Scrafty because you have the Intimidate, which something against like Conkeldurr will do a lot more. You also have Fake Out Pressure now that Psychic Terrain is gone. And so you're at this point where if you're Collin, you're going to try to preserve those Pokemon for later on. And now we see Reflect instead of that light screen from earlier.
Maybe
Reflect is going to really help against Conkeldurr now.
Maybe it was a good idea to switch into that Grimmsnarl for that Reflect. It's going to help out that Scrafty a whole bunch. especially with that Intimidate. Oh, this could be good and it could be bad. Could Scrafty come through here with the 1v2?
Scrafty, it can Intimidate and scare things. Actually, so Intimidate plus the Reflect might not actually be enough. If Conkeldurr has like a really good fighting type move, if it's got something like Drain Punch, Superpower, the Scrafty's going to go down, and then the support from Rotom is also just going to take care of it. So I think a good fought battle from Collin, Duraludon going down that first turn.
It was very unfortunate. Yeah, that Reuniclus is coming through with the checks. I usually don't see Reuniclus. Those are the things that you don't see in bracket as he goes for the fake out here. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it took me forever to figure out how to say Reuniclus Pokemon. So.
Yeah, it was actually my favorite when Black and White came out, so it's really, really refreshing to see my favorite Jelly Boy make it to top cut.
And now you know it can be used, so you could definitely use it at like your next event.
Oh yeah, for sure. Trick Room did expire, so I'm not sure what's the speed looking on this Scrafty, but Conkeldurr is definitely going to be moving last.
And I think right now, if you can, like, you know, if you're calling and you understand this might be like a lost game, try to fish out as much information as you can from Alberto. Figure out your own speed tiers for later on, because your biggest threat next game is how do you stop something like Trick Room from getting up, right? And how do you stop that Reuniclus and that Indeedee?
That support Indeedee. Like, we keep talking about Reuniclus, but do not sleep on Indeedee at all. Like, that thing is such a threat, even though it's not doing anything damage-wise. It's insane.
It supports its teammates.
And there's a Drain Punch. Yeah, this is pretty much it for these two competitors, at least for game one. It's best out of 3, correct? So, yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, the important thing here is, like, even though we both have, like, I think everyone here realizes that the game is basically over and it's going to go to Alberto, the more information you can get out from your opponent, the better information you can get into game 2, right? And if you're calling, you want as much information because you want to push for that game 3 now.
Yeah, because you could always surrender, but then you wouldn't know that Conkeldurr had Drain Punch. It's like little things like that, you know, that you would figure out. Okay.
Yeah,
that was pretty insane. Yeah, that
would feel so much more fast-paced when you're on this side.
It's pretty insane. I really like these two teams. The two teams are good in their own right. Like, honestly, Scrafty is another Pokemon that you don't normally see as often. So, yeah, it's a refreshing thing to see all the Gen 5 Pokemon coming back after all the legendaries like took over Sun and Moon, for sure.
And I think now if you're Alberto, you're like, do you change your mode up or do you stick with what worked, right?
I don't know.
And I think if you're calling, you think to yourself, if he decides to bring Reuniclus and Indeedee, how do I stop that? Because we saw like right next to each other. It's like, oh, Reuniclus, I don't know what it's gonna do. It's gonna stay on the field and it's gonna take out your Duraludon with one hit. Like that Max Knuckle, it was like, nope, Duraludon is
gone. Yeah.
So
it's insane. You definitely have to check your Duraludon. Make sure you keep it safe because you know it's gonna take out a lot of those checks. Duraludon handles Tyranitar. It handles a couple of things, especially, and it has really strong special attack. I have a Duraludon myself on my own team, and I was honestly shocked with how good it did damage wise. So you definitely have to keep that thing in the bag. Probably. What checks Reuniclus right now?
I think if you can bring in Dragapult, I mean, the problem is you're going to need something like Max Phantasm to be able to do significant damage to Reuniclus.
Yes. Hopefully that Grimmsnarl has something like Helping Hand or anything like that.
The tough part here is I think if you're Collin, you have a lot of things that could go against Reuniclus, but it needs 2 other Pokemon. So you need 3 on the field essentially to make it any good, right? Like you'll need the Dragapult, you need the Grimmsnarl, and you need the Duraludon to get like the most out of it. And whatever 2 you put out on the field, if it's Reuniclus and Indeedee, if you chose the wrong 2, you're sacrificing one Pokemon, and something's not going to get set up.
You're just setting yourself backwards. You're taking one step back, and that's never a good thing. Not in a best of 3, not in a game like this. But yeah, as these competitors are getting set up here, I'm really excited to what adjustments that Collins is going to make here.
I don't think we'll see Grimmsnarl like that turn 1 because the light screen and the reflect didn't really come into play until later on in the game, and I think he could benefit from a different type of lead where he's a little bit more aggressive and trying to stop Reuniclus or trying to stop the Indeedee, right? Because if Indeedee can't heal pulse, Reuniclus just takes damage.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, so we start off with the Scrafty and Duraludon, still keeping the Duraludon in, and Excadrill Indeedee?
that's my thought right now too. Alberto is definitely trying to kind of counter what's happening here right now.
Just confuse the opponent, which is really interesting. This is bad. Extra is kind of in a bad spot with that intimidate.
90% sure that extra drill also said air balloon.
Yes, it did.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure, right? And I think this is really smart because we were saying, hey, Duraludon needs something in support for it. We shouldn't see Grimmsnarl. Reuniclus needs to be taken care of, and instead it's an extra drill, right? So that kind of changes everything that's going on.
Yeah.
You could get the helping hand. You could go for something like an earthquake and not even a max quake. But if you decide to Dynamax the extra drill, you go after the Duraludon again. And helping hand, max quake, anything like that, it knocks out Duraludon again.
Ooh, switching out Duraludon immediately. Yeah, he does not like that matchup with that extra drill, despite the attack drop. And Grimmsnarl is coming in this time. Going for that fake out probably on the extra drill. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And popping the air balloon, that is actually really smart. The follow me is gonna be useless. A very good first turn on Collin's part.
So Collin paying attention really well because that air balloon. If extra drill didn't have an air balloon, fake out wouldn't have hit because Psychic Terrain is up right now. And so paying attention to something like that and getting rid of the item, extremely clever here. But that follow me from Indeedee is gonna draw the attention here. Ooh.
Going for that reflect. The Scrafty is most likely going to be the one getting redirected here, but hopefully he...
Whoa! This is a scary extra drill. This is really fun.
He's like, you popped my air balloon, I am upset now. Going for that crunch, that is very smart on the Indeedee. Doing a huge, hefty amount of damage, but definitely good predicting that he was definitely going to follow me there.
Yeah, that crunch wasn't going to do... It was going to do a lot more because we didn't have the max steel spike from game 1 to up the defensive Indeedee, but extra drill is in a terrifying spot. You're in +2 right now. If your Indeedee goes down this turn, you're expecting to hear Alberto. If you can take down that Scrafty and that Grimmsnarl at the same time...
You know what? It's actually +1 because of the Intimidate.
Right.
It's +1 because of the Intimidate, and this guy has Reflect up. So I don't know.
Helping Hand could at least do some significant damage.
That is true. Helping Hand does a lot of damage, or provides that support to do that much. Oh gosh.
This is... Oh.
Yeah, Indeedee got really scared of that Scrafty going into Conkeldurr this time. I wonder if... Ooh, okay, interesting. Probably trying to preserve that fake out. Yeah, and going into that Gyarados to lower his attack once more. That Sword Dance literally meant nothing. He's back to neutral. Actually, JK. He has Moxie.
Yeah, it's always like, you said that you're like, Intimidate. No, it has
I always think it has Intimidate. Alright, so he's going to Dynamax that Excadrill. Most likely going to be going for that Grimmsnarl, just to stop all that support from coming in.
I think it's nice, now that you know that, you don't have to worry about the Gyarados going for Intimidate. Yeah, Steel Spike's going to hurt.
It's going to do a hefty amount. Let's see how much it does. Oh, yeah.
Not to knock it out.
Yeah, I should have known. It's an Excadrill. And it's getting that defense boost as well on both sides. Conkeldurr is looking really healthy coming in, and he gets that defense boost. I am really liking this turn on this guy.
Especially because that defense boost is going to help out against that Gyarados. Most Gyarados are running Waterfall right now because it's a physical move. Excadrill is going to be able to take it a little bit better. It is going to be at at neutral now because of that Intimidate.
Correct.
So, doing math on the fly right here.
Oh man, we've been doing a lot of battles today, so yeah, it's definitely it's all morphing together.
Yeah, I still think that Alberto's in the more commanding spot, right? He did manage to knock out the Grimmsnarl, and it did get Reflect up, but Collin is now kind of forced to be like, okay, I have to stop both of these heavy hitters, so he's probably going to Dynamax that Gyarados this turn. Because I think saving it for Duraludon, which I think was the other month.
Yeah, Duraludon is definitely in the back.
The last Pokemon, to save it for that one, that's going to be a little bit rough. I think you want to get as much damage out now as you can, because Indeedee and then possibly Reuniclus is going to be the last one.
Whoa! Yeah.
I think he's just going to sacrifice the Indeedee on this turn.
That probably makes sense. Definitely preserve that. Ooh, and we're going to see a Dynamax here. Oh, this is really interesting. Probably going to be that Gyarados most likely.
And then we're gonna see the rain
with that Max Geyser, yeah.
To watch it.
It's really interesting. Scrafty is, you would think that Scrafty would be kind of a really dangerous Pokemon to go up against, but you're seeing it more as support. When it's switching back in for those Intimidates, it's literally it basically made Alberto waste a turn with that Sword Dance. As Max Geyser does a little over half and setting that rain up too on that Excadrill.
That plus defense from before is going to really help Excadrill. And honestly, Scrafty has been seeing like a lot of support that Gyarados is that reflect. It's so handy now. Grimmsnarl did not faint for nothing, and there was a critical hit. What the heck? This Excadrill looks angry because it did not knock out this Gyarados, and Brick Break would have been nice on the other side to break those screens, but that plus defense also making sure Excadrill does not get knocked out.
Oh my gosh, that was a very good turn.
It was a lot of things at once.
There was a lot of things that reflect actually coming in clutch. Even though Grimmsnarl is fainted, its presence is still around, which is really cool.
The rough part now is Gyarados is faster than Excadrill.
Yes.
We saw, and I don't think we've seen Excadrill's. I don't think we've seen its ability pop up yet. So if it does get its double speed this turn, then Collin has to be really careful of that. Because if not, Alberto loses both of his Pokemon on this turn, and I think Alberto's the only one who really knows if he's going to outspeed this Gyarados.
Honestly, because this is definitely a tricky turn as Gyarados goes for that max guard. He does not like the sand being up. He does not like, ooh, indeed going for that follow me here. Interesting. Yeah. I wonder if,
Alberto's definitely faster now.
Oh yeah. He has that, isn't it Sand Rush, I believe is the ability. Yeah. And then indeed he goes down, of course, because of that follow me, that crunch coming in. Once again, high key predicting, but also it's kind of obvious that you're going to get followed me if indeed he's around.
Conkeldurr can come in really nicely now and just kind of clean up that Scrappy, because now that we know Excadrill is going to be faster than Gyarados, Max Rockfall is going to knock out that Gyarados. Yeah, you can get knocked out by Scrappy with your Excadrill, but you have Conkeldurr who will not be intimidated because you've got a Duraludon. Thank you. In the back. And honestly, Alberto has managed his Pokemon in a really smart way.
And there's one more Pokemon in the back on Alberto's side.
I'm definitely going to ask him afterwards if we don't see it. It's going to burn me up inside not knowing.
Really interesting. The Dynamax is gone on Alberto's side. Gyarados is still up, but honestly, 38 HP. And you know that Excadrill's faster. I'm not sure what Gyarados could possibly do here.
Just say goodbye.
I mean, go out, if you're gonna go out with a bang, right? You know.
I think like Alberto has done like a really good job here. Like I appreciate Collin's adjustment here.
Oh, actually withdrawing.
That is.
Giving up your Dynamax like that. I wonder if that was the right call. Sending out the Duraludon here. Okay. Interesting. Going for that Rock Slide. Duraludon avoids.
But it hits the Scrafty. If it gets the flinch here, that actually will still help him.
And the crit to boot. Nope, didn't go through. So it's the Brick Break's coming into that Excadrill and knocking it out. So we are actually going to see that third Pokemon, or that fourth Pokemon, I should say, on Alberto's side. Nice play switching in on that.
Oh man,
switching in that Dynamax Pokemon.
And I think that's one of those things where like you have to realize like this Gyarados isn't going to do anything. It would have gotten knocked out if it. I think if you're calling, you're like, what if it had avoided that like rock slide? I would have given it up. But at the same time, that's not something you could ever predict.
The fact that slide got avoided, it's either heartbreaking or really good. That Tyranitar is going to come in, actually taking advantage of the sandstorm that's already up. Gyarados is not looking good right now. It might be Duraludon against the world here. Oh man.
Also not a super bad place I guess for Duraludon. The hard part here is Tyranitar is at max HP right now. You don't know what it did because Alberto didn't bring it in like
correct.
You can only assume based on what you know from before. Conkeldurr, even though it's at -1 for its attack and defense, can still do a lot against Duraludon.
As he goes for that Flash Cannon here. Flash Cannon gonna do a huge amount of damage to Conkeldurr. Still not taking it out, but it does lower its special defense as well as Gyarados goes for that waterfall. Maybe hoping for a flinch here? Oh, never mind. He's just going to take it out. Okay.
It's now going to be Tyranitar versus that Duraludon.
And the Moxie's going to go up. That is a really smart play. Even if Gyarados goes out here. Yeah, he does hit both. Okay, even if Gyarados goes out here, it's still Duraludon versus Tyranitar. And that Flash Cannon is so strong.
If you're Alberto, actually, I think you know your damage count at this point if you're Alberto.
Duraludon's a little bit damaged, but honestly, like min rolls can happen, max rolls can happen, crits can happen. Like this turn could decide it here. Could decide if Alberto gets to move on or if Collin gets another chance. Duraludon goes first, exactly. This is a battle of the kaijus.
All right, it holds on. So if he can knock out this Duraludon on this turn with and
he goes for superpower.
He got no.
Yo!
All right, and that means we're gonna go to a game 3. Oh man.
That was so good. See, this is what I'm saying. Duraludon is so strong. It's literally the battle of the kaijus with this Tyranitar and Duraludon. That speed on... I don't know if it's an investment. I'm actually unsure if Duraludon is naturally faster than Tyranitar, but wow, that really mattered actually. Superpower was definitely the play, but it just needed a little bit more.
If he had gotten like previous crits on that moment, that would have been insane. I think Collin's adjustment for that second game,
it was so
fantastic.
stellar.
Like, that's I think what he needed to, and I think Alberto also made the right choices, right? Like switching out the previous strategy you had, like sending out Indeedee and Excadrill instead, and kind of throwing Collin off. Like that's also really smart. And
I like that he still could have won. Yeah. Alberto still could have won, even though he changed that strategy of the Reuniclus Indeedee. Like he still could have came through if it wasn't just for critical hits happening all over the place, missing rock slides.
The linchpin in that, I think, was Collin making the conscious choice to say, hey Gyarados, you're being taken out of the game right now. Yes. I know I have Dynamax turns on you, but I need to save you for later. And Duraludon fits me better here right now, and so we're gonna sacrifice that. And I think that's one of those things where it's like, it's one of the hardest choices you have to make because you have to be really aware of the state of the board and what's gonna happen next. And so seeing that happen, I think was an insanely smart choice.
Because that's the thing. If you lose your Dynamax, or if you switch in and lose your Dynamax early, it could potentially be your downfall. So it was honestly kind of risky, but the risk actually paid off. So that's really cool, actually. I'm surprised that he did that.
The Rotoms are staying at home right now.
Yeah.
They might come out to play. You never know.
Yeah, the Rotoms are just hanging out. They're talking in the back, They're just
they're washing clothes and heating up some food for everyone else for later.
Of course. I wonder if he will go back to that Reuniclus strategy at all, because even though the Scrafty did some damage, it wasn't honestly enough to take out that Reuniclus, especially with that heal pulse from Indeedee.
Yeah, Scrafty's been struggling a lot since after Gen 5 to really find its place as a little bit more of attack, right? It's Intimidate this generation isn't doing as much as it used to. Fake Out, especially with Psychic Terrain, you have to really be careful about that. I think what would be really cool is if we see maybe that Dragapult come out here. I genuinely think though that the Gyarados, Duraludon, Scrafty, and Grimmsnarl combination for Collin worked out really well to his advantage, whereas Alberto has a little bit more flexibility in what he wants.
If he does bring in that Reuniclus Indeedee, like you said, Dragapult can have a lot of fun here. So if he does make that adjustment, or he just goes back to what he did before, Indeedee and Excadrill, that was still a super stellar play. Yeah, that was really fun on his end, even though, and he had Sword Dance on the Excadrill too, so he definitely has to be careful of that. The Intimidates are definitely coming in clutch, but if you don't check that, could be bad. It could be bad. But we're in Top Cut for a reason. They know their Pokemon. They obviously know their opponent's Pokemon by now, unless there's little surprises that we have yet to see. Oh, Scrafty and Gyarados come out here.
Reuniclus and Indeedee is actually going to be Alberto's choice. This is, I can respect this a lot.
Honestly, and the Psychic Surge is going to come out. Fake Out actually doesn't work here, does it? No. Damn, Scrafty's in a really tough spot. Oof.
I think the thing with Scrafty is it's got the Brick Break. I think it's got a couple ways that it could deal with Indeedee because, again, Alberto's strategy for this Reuniclus being absolutely terrifying is Indeedee has the Helping Hand, it has Follow Me, and it has Heal Pulse.
Yes.
All three of those together is what helps make this Reuniclus be able to stand on its own as a Dynamax one. You get rid of the Indeedee, you get rid of a lot of support that the Reuniclus has, you can't get that HP back, and you just have to rely on it being able to survive for the next round.
Yeah, on top of that, Reuniclus is actually really strong, especially wise. That Focus Blast actually coming in really clutch here. And when you Dynamax your Pokemon, Dynamax moves don't miss. So unless you max guard, of course. So that Focus Blast is definitely going to come in clutch, as Collin is actually Dynamaxing his Gyarados here.
And I think that's the only Pokemon we've seen from him that has Dynamax all three games.
Interesting.
And again, it does have Moxie as opposed to Intimidate, so any knockouts that it picks up will add to its attack. So this Gyarados feeds off of the KOs that it takes. It's kind of scary on that.
I wonder if Indeedee goes for Follow Me here, which it does, absolutely.
No Dynamaxing on Alberto's side.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Reuniclus is going to do here, but I have a good feeling that Indeedee might go down. I'm not sure, though. The max guys are going to do probably about 2/3 to that Indeedee. Very bulky for sure. And the rain comes up as well. What is Scrafty going to do here? Scrafty's going for Crunch. Is Indeedee going to survive this? Okay, it's not. So it's probably going to set up the Trick Room for Conkeldurr to come in for sure.
And I think, and I think the smart thing here too for Alberto is because you're also not Dynamaxing this turn, you'll have at least an extra turn later on ahead of Collin, and that can make all the difference, right? So like you said, Conkeldurr most likely going to come into in this round. It's going to be able to go after Scrafty, and it also has, I think, Thunder Punch that we saw earlier against the Gyarados. Grimmsnarl, if it had to come in, it would have had to come in either this turn or the next turn and hope that it can get up those screens.
Reflect and Light Screen is not going to help.
Great shot right there.
It's a good cameo on that Gyarados for sure. This Conkeldurr can pretty much come in safely. It depends if he wants to send out. I mean, he might have Rotom Wash in the back to take advantage of that rain. He could have Tyranitar come in here to set up the Sandstorm, but it's going to be Conkeldurr this time, actually. That's good. The Thunder Punch coming into that Gyarados might be really scary, and Reuniclus has some shenanigans too. Still has the Dynamax on board. So
what would be fun is if you're Collin and you think that he's going to protect, and you protect your Gyarados, if you're Alberto and you know that, you go after the Scrafty, and if that's a Duraludon, it's probably the Grimmsnarl. Yeah, I was it's probably the Grimmsnarl because the Grimmsnarl can take moves a lot better. Yeah. But either way, you're going to protect that Gyarados, right? And Grimmsnarl, if it takes damage, it won't be taking as much damage as it would otherwise.
Very true.
But Collin is playing as safe as he can, expecting mind games from Alberto.
Yeah.
And Reuniclus now is going to have at least one extra turn over that Gyarados, so long as it survives the next couple of turns.
I agree. This Grimmsnarl switch might make it or break it for Collin here. And Gyarados is going for that Max Guard. Good prediction on your end, actually.
He's covering all his bases right now.
He's going for Max Mindstorm on the Gyarados, protecting it, wasting a Dynamax turn, and the Thunder Punch as well!
Oh no! Grimmsnarl is definitely going to get those screens, one of those screens for free on there. Protect sometimes is really hard to use on a Dynamax Pokemon because that's one of your 3 turns.
Right.
But Collin wants the Gyarados around for later, right? You've got the rain up, you're going to have Waterfall for later. You have at least this last turn to be able to do an attack.
Yep.
Do you switch it out for something else? I have no idea.
Well, Grimmsnarl is going to go really hefty on these support moves. Probably going to go for that Reflect for that Conkeldurr, because he's definitely going to go for Thunder Punch this turn. Going to go after that Gyarados. Let's see if Gyarados can tank these hits as Max Mindstorm comes out from that Reuniclus into Gyarados.
That does so much.
Doing so much.
It's also supported by the fact that we're on psychic terrain still. That double up, no Max Guard this time from Collin again.
You're right.
And that Gyarados is going down. I don't think it's the end of the world for Collin. He's got that Scrafty, and most likely that Duraludon in the back is what's going to be happening. I think he's going to save it for later because as soon as that Reuniclus is gone with its Dynamax, I think he's going to be able to at least bring it safely. Right now, he's focusing on setting up that Grimmsnarl, going to get probably the light screen up this turn, so that way you don't have to worry about the Reuniclus as well.
That was such a tough turn for Collin, honestly. The Max Mindstorm getting boosted by the Psychic Terrain, which honestly isn't something that you would think about. The terrains having a pivotal moment, or it's a good mechanic in this format of VGC 2020. This is Reuniclus. Yeah, that's really.
If it's one of your favorite Pokemon, at least now you know it's definitely you're able to use it.
Absolutely.
In this format. I mean,
Grimmsnarl is going to have both his screens up now, and Reuniclus, going for that Max Steel Spike, going against that Grimmsnarl. I wonder. Yeah, it's still gonna tank that.
Light Screen and Reflect are just so pivotal right now for Collin. Being able to take those hits and stay around for another turn. The defense boost is nice too, though, if you are Alberto. But
oh man, yeah, you get rid of it. Yeah.
Alberto's looking at the Scrafty and he's going, I do not care about you.
Because honestly, and it's true, because the Scrafty is doing damage, yes, it is providing that Intimidate, yes, but honestly, attack-wise, look, it's not really doing much. It knows it's not a threat. It sees the Grimmsnarl as a threat, and literally, Scrafty is the only thing left against his 3 other... No, I'm sorry. Duraludon comes in here, so he has 2 Pokemon left. Oh man.
I'm going to knock out all your friends before I knock you out.
I'm going to watch all your friends suffer. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah, I mean, but we saw this Duraludon, it's a fast Pokemon. As long as Collin is able to at least stall out the last turn of Trick Room, his Duraludon can kind of basically sweep everything.
He could double protect, I believe. Yeah. If these two have the moves at least.
And I think, honestly, you're okay if you lose the Scrafty, right? Because we saw Duraludon do a lot of damage. If Conkeldurr goes for anything like a superpower or any of those moves, you're you're lowering your attack one move at a time. Flash Cannon as well is going to be able to at least do some considerable damage. So I think you have options if you're Collin.
No protect on either side as Focus Blast comes in, completely one-shotting the Duraludon. This is literally, no, it was not. No, it was not at all. As Conkeldurr goes for that close combat, that is pretty much.
Scrafty's like, oh no, it's my turn. It's finally being like attacked on this turn, but
it's possible you didn't have Protect on either one of those Pokemon, but that was literally your win con there. See, Crunch isn't doing a whole lot. This Reuniclus providing so much power, and it's possible that Focus Blast can miss, but honestly, like I do not see that Duraludon doing much. I really
want to know what Steel move Reuniclus can learn, because that's Max Steel Spike, and like that's kind of crazy because that plus defense has essentially served Alberto really well this entire time.
So good, and we didn't see the Max Mindstorm in game 1.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that's based off of Psychic most likely, because that's going to be your highest like special attack move. But Rotom missed the last one. Rotom finally comes out to play. Thank you, Alberto.
As he goes for that close combat, is not going to do much, honestly.
I mean, hey, if you don't have to lose a Pokemon, then why would you, right? I mean,
yeah.
I think we might see the Steel type move now. Nope, it's another.
It's Focus Blast, and he's landing all of these. This is crazy. Fun fact for you guys: Focus Blast is not a 100% accurate move. It's very strong, and I believe it has 80 accuracy. If I'm correct.
It is 100% an anxious move to click, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That gives Alberto the win, and he will move on to top 4.
That was an insane. That was actually a really insane match.
That was stressful for us to watch. And for me to watch, especially.
Honestly, I'm trying to find out what is the
Steel type?
Yeah, what is the Steel type move on here?
I don't. I think it might learn Iron Head. I will go look, and we will let you guys know.
Honestly, when we figure that out.
I will let you know as soon as we find out.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Alberto will be moving on to top 4 alongside. Is it Miguel? Is it Alan? No, Alan top 4, and then who else do we know?
Jonathan and Alex.
So one of the Alexes, we had an Alex versus Alex match. So one of the Alexes is moving on. I'm not going to try that one at all. So we've got that one, and then we've got Alan and Jonathan, and then obviously Alberto.
These are insane competitors, and
thanks for joining.
Yeah, no problem, man. That was really, really, really fun. I really enjoyed that game.
And I'll see you next week.
Yes.
Sure. So,
yes. ESA.
Yeah, so we'll be at the Esports Arena next week. We will still have top 4 and finals for you guys, so do not go anywhere.
Stay put.